This audio recording has been brought to you by Erik's digital blog. Apple September event. What to expect? Apple's September event is coming fast, and this article will cover some thoughts about the possible upcoming iPhone lineup. We will talk about the iPhone 17 Air, which is expected to be released. We know the term Air from the iPad lineup. The iPad Air stands somewhere between the normal iPad and the iPad Pro. iPad Air is better version with a more powerful chip and accessories than the normal iPad, but still a bit worse than the iPad Pro. Well, this is not the case with the iPhone 17 Air. Please note that everything in this article is just a rumor and nothing is really confirmed until Apple reveals it at the September event. iPhone 17 Air should be the light version of the normal iPhones. It should also have a much smaller battery, which is detrimental for the user who wants to buy the phone and doesn't want it to always run out so quickly. This means that you won't be able to play huge power usage games, as the iPhone wouldn't stand a chance. It is also rumored to have just a single camera, so this phone won't be useful for photographers either. It is supposed to be very thin. To be exact, it should be the thinnest iPhone ever. The current holder of the thinnest iPhone is the iPhone 6, which we all know for its problems with bending. So let's hope Apple got this figured out this time. To be honest, I don't know who would buy this iPhone. Yes, it is light, but I think the thinnest is too much, and also I don't really like the design that I see at every rumor. I don't really see the usability of this phone because everything will be worse than on the standard iPhone, and the battery drainage will be really bad. When we know how normal iPhones uh, make it out with battery, the 17 Air will be really bad with the battery. I just don't know how long it will hold when the battery will get worse over time. The capability of holding energy, or for example in winter or in cold places where the battery just doesn't stay alive so long. I don't know. It's just something to have in mind. And for clarity, I'm not a Pro Max iPhone level user. I don't need the best camera on the market because I know that a physical camera would be much better. And I also don't need a heavy phone. But it is important for me to be able to use my iPhone on a daily commute. If I have to care and be scared if I'm going to make it out with the battery on a sad day, that is a problem with me. Even though it is rumored to use its own chip for communication, which was announced with the iPhone 16e a few months prior, and a better version of the battery, I still think the usability of this phone will be low. So even though it is rumored to have a better version of the battery that will hold energy better for the same space, I'm not sure how that will help because the screen will be bigger and the battery will have to be thinner. So that kind of like, it doesn't really fit. It fights each other, and and it cancels out each other. And even though there was a new chip for communication, house made from Apple, that's not uh, a such improvement that it would save so much battery that the iPhone will be just okay. Yes, it saves some battery, some percentage, but the difference isn't so huge, isn't that big. So even though it will help a little bit, it's not like that big of a difference. And the final question is, who will use this iPhone? maybe older people, but for the price that it is expected to be, they can get cheaper alternatives while still getting more features. Like getting a refurbished iPhone or an older generation iPhone will probably be much better for them. They won't lose so many features, and the price may be also a huge difference. According to different sources, from what I saw on the internet, the iPhone 17 Air will not be as cheap as the normal version of the iPhone. And to be honest, I really miss the SE series. I mean, from the time that they discontinued this version of the iPhone, I don't know what version of iPhone I would buy. I don't need a phone that is like a tablet, nearly. I would prefer something smaller that I could easily fit into my own hand and be able to cross the entire screen with my thumb, like Steve Jobs imagined that it should be. I'm not sure if you know it. I think you probably know it um, if you're a fan of Apple or you kind of like know about the company. The reason that the iPhones were so small, iPhone 3, 4, 5, 5S, 5C or 4C, I don't know. The reason that they were small is because Steve Jobs imagined that the entire screen should be possible to cross with your thumb, with your finger basically. You know that you don't need two hands to hold your phone. You need just one. But with the iPhone 6 and the newer iPhones, when Tim Cook came to the leadership of Apple, that has changed, and it seems like the bigger phones they now produce, the better. Even though a lot of people, not a majority of them, because they discontinued the mini version, but a lot of people would prefer a smaller phone that they could easily fit into their hand. Um, this is really country specific. Let's continue. So yeah, in the recent years, iPhones have just gotten bigger, bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon enough, the iPhone will be as big as an iPad mini. I liked the design of the 16E, and even though it wasn't the cheapest budget-friendly option from Apple, it was still quite small to fit into a hand. And I know, a lot of features were removed to be budget friendly, but I believed, or I still believe, that in the future those features, or at least some of them, would be returned with the upcoming versions. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that, and it doesn't look like I will be able to see that, because it is rumored that iPhone 17 Air will replace 16E. So basically, we've got iPhones mini now, we've got the SE generations that was discontinued for 1 year as a crossbridge or something. There was 16E, and now it looks like that will be discontinued too. And 17 Air will take its place as the final version. But the question is, why would Apple release this iPhone? Well, we know that many people probably won't use it, and it will be quite expensive for the fact that some sources say that it will replace the 16E in the future, as I said. And I may have one main reason for this, but it doesn't entirely add up in the end. Apple has, and hear me out, Apple has its price ladder made really well. MKBHD explains this on his channel with the iPad lineup really well. Go look on his video. It's a short where he explains how the iPad lineup is basically, you've got the basic iPad, but then you want maybe a bigger storage. Okay, so you add the storage, but that is the same price as the 17R, but you want a bigger storage on the 17. You want a bigger storage on your iPad. So that's why you chose that option. So then you've got the iPad Air, and you add the storage, and now it's nearly as iPad Pro. So that is kind of what he tries to explain in that video. I don't explain it that well, but just go look at his video. It's much better explained there. So one theory of mine is that they will release this product as a budget-friendly option of the new lineup. But you will see that for just $199 or $299 more dollars, you can get the standard version of the iPhone, and you will get so many features on top. You won't lose that many features. It will be the normal version of the iPhone. And with that knowledge, you will in the end end up buying the normal version of the iPhone. But here's the catch. Some sources say that Apple is doing this Air version because the Plus models of the iPhones don't sell really well. So here's where it doesn't really add up. Why would you remove a version that doesn't sell really well and replace it with a version that is destined or also not expected to sell really well? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. What do you think? Do you think that this theory of mine makes sense, or it is a total nonsense crap? Please write down in the comments what do you think. I would be really interested in hearing your opinion on this one. And thank you for listening, for tuning into this show. With the opinion on the 17R, please also write down what do you think, if we should make more of these podcasts or type of podcast like this. And yeah, until then,